Hello and welcome to Anger Issues. Whoopsie. I got ahead of myself.
Save it for After Dark, Bill.
Yeah, I will. No, it's not After Dark anymore. I had to change the name.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because After Dark, I guess, is copyrighted by somebody.
Oh.
And that's why it was always getting taken down.
Oh, so it's never After Dark anymore. We just have Anger Issues.
It's Anger Issues, yeah.
Well, I guess it's a little more honest.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, welcome to episode 15 of the Anger Podcast, the Albuquerque Narrative Gamer Podcast, or episode, we're probably over 200 now, of the Rolling Bad Podcast. What are we going to do today?
Yeah, we kind of got obsessed with Malifaux.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
So we're actually going to do an interesting approach to this because Bill played, quite a bit before, as he alluded to and discussed, in the last episode, and he was just getting me into it. And so it's going to be two different perspectives on getting into the game at 4th edition, one from the returning player and one from the new player. Kind of the experience of it, our various gripes. I don't think they're too distinct, but we certainly have our own nuances in how we view approaching certain things. But it's going to be big talk about how we respectively got into the game, our experience in trying to collect, learn rules, that kind of stuff. So it'll be a interesting one, I think, for sure, but also sort of bodes forebodes some things that may be coming down the pike. Why don't you talk about that one, Bill?
Wow, good segue. Sure. What we're going to do also now is going to kind of announce a new series of shows that are going to come out on this channel. So, if you're listening now, you'll be able to listen to those. But we kind of have ideas and thoughts about some of the newer game systems. So obviously we're going to have a Malifaux Monday show where we're going to dive into a topic. It's not going to be nearly as long as this. We're talking, 20, 30 minutes at the most. But we're going to dive into something Malifaux. Might be lore. It might be a deep dive into a keyword. It might be mechanics changes and an update comes out. Something. But it will be strictly Malifaux content, so you can go, I don't like that game, click, and just go right by it. Instead of having to listen to it in the main show, if it's not your bag. What we ran into with AOS and talking about other games during the AOS show, it was lost on some folks, and they didn't like it. So, again, trying to make things easier for the consumer of the show. We're also going to do a Warcrow Wednesday kind of a thing, because, honestly, the more I screw around with Warcrow, the more I really love that system.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
And as I built models, which we'll get to later, I'm just like, they are really knocking it out of the park in the current day. I'm going to talk about some things in the past that, Corvus Belly, if I could just slap you one time. Okay. And we'll probably do the same thing with Conquest / First Blood. Again, in this show, we're going to talk a little bit about the new First Blood, which is not just revitalized, but holy carp, does it look like a fun game. And I was never interested in it before, and I am now. And that's kind of what we're going to try to do, is leave the main show for more kind of cerebral topics, more average hobby miniatures game stuff, and not dedicate a show to a game that somebody might not be interested in at all. So that's kind of what the goal is. And you may notice that the flow of those other episodes is a little weirder because we're probably not going to do it in person. We always record in person here at the house. That one we will probably do by phone. Josh will call in, or, one of us will call in, or we might have guests and do it that way. So it may sound a little different, but it's still us being us. So that kind of covers. Any other announcements? Any other news that we should cover? I can't really, show type news. I can't think of anything.
Yeah, show type news now.
Nah. Let's move on to new stuff around the world.
Oh, boy.
This last week or two has been an incredible amount of news around the gaming world. And I want to kick it off with Atomic Mass Games and Asmodee killing off Shatterpoint. They're de-emphasizing Shatterpoint. Okay, so they're killing it off. It's been put on maintenance mode. I would expect that they'll do the occasional balancing pass. I don't expect to see more than one kit per quarter, maybe per half year, as they defocus on that. And it kind of got me thinking about why that game never really took off. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of the, punditry will say that it hit right when the Star Wars fatigue hit. And I agree. That it did. And to me, one of the other big things that killed that game is Legion existed. And other Star Wars games have existed. And who wants to paint up a third or fourth Darth Vader? Who wants to do another Luke Skywalker or another Leia and Chewie? And, while Shatterpoint was an incredibly fun game to play, it had analogs in the same company at a different scale.
Yeah.
And that's what killed me was I think your longevity would have been better served had you chosen the same scale as Legion.
Yeah.
Now, when Shatterpoint came out, they had not been directed to take over Legion development. That was still over there at Fantasy Flight. So I'm sure they didn't see it as something that was going to run into each other. But
at that time, it was a competing product, right?
Yeah. I mean, you were dealing with your competitor, and it made sense to have it at a different scale so people couldn't just, proxy and play your game. So it made sense then, but then as soon as it came in-house, oops, that was bad.
Mm-hmm.
So it's dead. I took everything, and I get it. I'm sad because it was such a good game. It really was. With the built-in catch-up mechanics, you were never, ever out of any game. Nobody, you very rarely saw just, this game's over in 2 rounds. I won and struggled too. I mean, you did see it, but very rare. And you almost had to engineer those matchups.
Mm-hmm.
You almost had to go out and say, I'm going to play original Ewoks against the original Hask and Vader list and, see what happens. Well, I'll tell you, fur, meat, lightsaber. So it's not pretty and it smells bad. So that's that. They have killed Shatterpoint. I am sad. It's in the garage. Ho hum. From that, the big winner now is, of course, Star Wars Legion, which has, like a couple of other games, just skyrocketed up the list of miniature sales to the point to where AMG is the only company besides GW to have 2 games on the top 10 miniature sales list. And understand that one of the games that's on the top 10 list is WizKids and their D&D miniatures line. Mm-hmm. And you know how many people are buying those, and they're still not number 1.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, GW has, of course, 40K and AOS. AMG has Legion and MCP, which when you look at MCP, you're buying figs individually.
Yep.
Or, boxes of 2 or 3. They're not in boxes of 10 like GW is.
Didn't they just announce that, though? Like the Asgardians now have like a full,
they'd have the
box.
faction release box,
Yeah. So
which is great if you're just getting into it.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I mean, it's not like it has like the newest, coolest models. It's just, here's the core, right? If I remember correctly.
I think that box has I think it has all the OGs plus the new.
New, relatively speaking.
Yeah. What's her name? Valkyrie, and which is such a great model. Oh my gosh. And Elisif. Yeah. So
I remember when I first started playing MCP, I would have killed for that kind of stuff.
Oh my God.
Oh, I mean, that was like the worst part of starting MCP back in the day was that, I really want to play this team, but I need to buy, 6 other models I'm never going to use that are not themselves in the same team.
Yeah.
It's like, dear goodness, like I've got my solid X-Men roster, but I also have like 2 from this, 3 from this.
Exactly. It was such I get why AMG did what they did. And that was to spread the love, but in retrospect, it seems like why? Now that they're consolidating the boxes, it's so much better for new players. Oh yeah, I want to play Avengers. I want to play Shield. There's a box for you.
I think was it Guardians of the Galaxy was pretty much the only one where they actually really linked everything up.
Yeah.
So like Guardians was an easy entry point for everyone.
Yeah, and look at how good they were. Oh my God. Yeah, it was kind of fun. But yeah, they're definitely fixing that. Of course, Legion is, I didn't know if it was going to rebound as hard as it did. By God, did it rebound. I was truly impressed with how well they've taken. And I mean, this announcement about Shatterpoint, you had to know that they knew weeks, probably months ago. And it kind of shows that the development level inside the Legion world has been just so off the hook.
Well, you were so bought into that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I remember coming over recording and there were just piles of boxes of Legion behind where Bill sits on his hobby table. And, you know, when it started to like kind of coast downward prior to AMG picking it up, I was like, man, that's a lot of investment for something that's kind of going the way of the dodo. So when they picked it back up, I was like, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. Well, it's, you know, the nice thing that they did was when they picked it up, everything Fantasy Flight put out still works.
Yes.
They have done rules packs and card packs and everything for everything. So if you were an existing Legion player, it's one of the few times that a game has completely changed companies and you haven't been screwed in a major way. Looking at you, GW. So
I mean, AMG is a great company. Right?
I mean, yeah, and they thought it through. How do we do this as painless as possible? And the idea was just get it out there. Just get it out there as quickly as you can so that everybody's playing the new rules. And then we approach things as we go. We improve the models as we go. But for right now, we produce what we have available. And it's paying off. They're doing really, really well with it. So, yay.
Whereas some companies struggle between editions. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
And then moving on to Corvus Belly. Holy crap.
Oh, my. Yeah.
Mount Haven.
Wow.
They ain't hating.
Mountain hating.
Mountain hating. Mount Haven dwarves are up for pre-order. You have the action pack. I think it comes with 10 models. Watched one of the unboxings on it. It's got a nice booklet with their traditional, hey, here's a 3 scenario campaign for you to play to kind of get yourself, situated with the dwarves. Holy cow, they're an interesting one. If you like to tank, if you're the guy or girl or whoever who says, I like to play the warrior with a shield.
Yes.
I kind of think the dwarves are for you.
Oh my God.
They're hard to take down. They are slow, but they have like tricky out of sequence actions that allow them to do certain things. Bill and I were talking, the Raiders have rocket boots, so there's some crazy flavor in there.
I mean, it's, yeah.
Oh, and they're like magic comes from origami. Like, how cool is that?
That's a twist you didn't see coming, I don't think.
Oh, no.
It's just, there's such a crazy cool faction. And, part of their background, and I kind of know that I don't think this is, I think it's coincidental.
Yeah.
But, like the World of Warcraft Unearthed with their directives and must follow the directive and stuff. And the Mount Haven dwarves have a lot of that where they're following these ancient edicts and prophecies, even into the current day when they may not make as much sense, but they're also not so hidebound to it that they're like, no, we cannot win this battle because prophecy said. No, they're not like that at all. They have a really amazing background that is so engaging, and they're still literally high fantasy dwarves.
Oh, yeah, big time.
But they depart from any trope that you might think of. These are not your Middle-earth dwarves.
Yeah.
These are actually, and I don't want to say actually fun, but they are very engaging to play. They are slow and ponderous, as they should be, because they got little legs. Just ask me, I'm a dachshund owner. But like you said, they have so much out of activation stuff. They have so many ways to enable multiple units to get a free move.
Mm-hmm.
That they'll be where you need them to be. Maybe not the exact moment you want, but that's where tactics comes in. So, yeah, they're going to be really, really fun to play. I would not recommend them as a starter army.
Oh, no.
For somebody just getting into the game.
Yeah, and so if you're looking to get in on the dwarves, the bundle they have right now, you get the action pack with 10 models, you get the 4 Hearthguard, and then you get the special augur model.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of overlapping buffs and things, so it makes sense that they would kind of be a little bit slower, so that way you kind of like stay within, the ranges that you need to. But, I mean, the sculpts are amazing. I love their armor designs.
Oh, they're sick.
And if you actually read the description of them on the website, they hinted at some crazy models coming out, including something called the Titan.
Yeah.
And the one thing that kind of sent me on this, that like, yeah, I'm going to be getting into this faction, was the Bombardiers.
Yeah.
So they got a lot going for them. And all the sculpts, I mean, are just gorgeous. I really, really like how they designed these dwarves.
Yeah,
so
they are beautiful.
And alongside that, the Warcrow Army Builder app is live.
Yes.
That's where you're going to get your updates, for your rules, points, and everything like that. I mean, we kind of knew this was bound to happen.
Oh, yeah.
So, like if you buy the cards, yeah, things are going to change.
Yep.
So, get the app, print out the updates, that kind of thing. Just, making sure that you keep afloat because.
Yeah, check your lists because a lot of points have been changed. A lot of points have been changed. So be advised, and after the results of the big tournament, and if you don't know that at the big, I don't want to say, was it the Interplanetario? Was that the tournament or was it?
I don't remember what it was.
I'm not sure. I think it was Interplanetario, their tournament. But of the top 10, 6 of them were hegemony. Of the top 5, all of them were hegemony. The top table, the game for the win was hegemony on hegemony. So yeah, there's a hegemony issue, and I would expect to see it start. I would expect to start seeing it come up in points changes at the very beginning. Corvus Belli is usually very, very slow to modify units because they don't like selling you something and then saying, oh, no, it doesn't work that way. GW.
Botan.
Yeah. Let's put out an army that says one thing and does another. Okay. So, yeah, Corvus Belli doesn't like to do that. So I think they're going to take this first pass, they're going to take with points.
Yeah.
And then if it has to be, because honestly, as far as I can see hegemony on a unit per unit basis, I don't see them as being broken. I do think that across the board, they can put together lists that can be tailored very specifically to scenarios.
Oh, yes.
So,
well, that's the whole thing we were talking about before the show, is that like hegemony and somewhat the Northern Tribes, but hegemony just got so much dumped out early on.
Oh, yeah.
So like you have the largest model range in the game right now. That means you have the different roles you need filled, that kind of thing. And if you are a tournament grinder and you know the scenarios, then you can sort of min-max, right, for what you're going to experience. And like eventually, I believe everyone's going to get there, right? Every faction's going to have those capabilities. It's just that so much hedge came out early on that they're clearly the forerunner because they have things that no one else has access to right now. The closest is Northern Tribes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And like even the Scions, like they were just kind of like their original like set of models was just kind of sloughed over from adventures, right? And they're like, well, we already printed these, so we might as well give them rules.
Exactly.
So like their faction is still trying to gain an identity, and
and those models are, as they update, I have to say I have never liked the Scions at all. Only because I play Warcrow Adventures and they're the bad guys.
Yeah.
And you learn to have a visceral hatred for them. And that game will teach you to hate them.
I remember what that guy did to me.
Yes. I can show you where he touched me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but now that I look at the new models as they come out, the execution of them is so, oh my God. I can see them being a very playable and fun faction, especially with their cool abilities and the changes, the wide scope changes to magic have really opened up so much for them, as well as, making the tinge work. And fixing the tinge for them was simply a case of changing the order of operations.
Yeah.
And it made perfect sense for them at that point. So
refining the tinge chart for them too.
Yep. But very, very definitely go grab the Warcrow Army Builder app. I think it's called Sphere. It's going to have the latest rolls. It's going to have the updates to the cards. And not just the points on the cards have changed. There have been some dice adjustments. So some people get a little bit heavier dice. Some people have had their dice toned down a little bit. So be aware and, print when you hit print on your list. Print the cards, because you don't want to get surprised when somebody looks at you and goes, no, they don't do that anymore. So, yeah, don't do that. I was going to cover this in hobby, but I'm going to do it now. And I've got to say, and I love Corvus Belli. I really do. Everything they touch is just done at a masterful level. They're like Parabellum in this. They're very thoughtful. They approach everything with a very measured, we're not going to just take these crazy big swings at stuff. But this Siocast bullshit in these kids has got to stop. I literally stopped building the Northern Tribe stuff, which I wanted to finish out. You'll hear more later. I stopped building them because the kits were packed incorrectly. They're packed full of those little QA slips that says, oh, this was checked by, and each one of those people needs to get fired because they don't check real good. I have so many left shoulders and so few right shoulders that it's kind of hard to build a model. But that Siocast is brittle. At least for the Northern Tribes, it's terrible. And figure it out. The fastest way to kill your game is going to be putting models out there, starter model armies. Like, I think there's a reason Winds from the North isn't available anymore. And I'm hoping that those action packs, I may pick one of them up to see if they're actually different, if they're a little bit more modern, because I really want to play Northern Tribes. I think they have a really cool, and I built the Rock Troll, and I'm like, I want to play him so bad. God, he's cool. But they have to fix that Siocast. Now, the Unicool stuff is top notch.
Oh,
it's off the hook. Amazing. But hear me now, believe me later. Corvus Belli fixed the Siocast shit.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not good in Infinity. It's not good in Warcrow. It's not good to take a crap on. That's the only thing it's good for, is to take a crap on. So Corvus Belli, don't make no more Siocast. Make it all Unicool. It may cost you 11 cents more. Pass that on to me. I don't give a shit. I want good models. All right, we're going to take a quick break before we get into all the changes over at Parabellum.
Oh, Lord.
Because, we're going to have so much in the new shit and hobby stuff that our lore section is going to be like, 5 minutes. Yeah, how'd you feel? Yeah, I feel good. Okay, good. Me too. Bye. So.
Nah, it'll be more than that. But
it's true. But anyway, we're going to take a quick break so we can get some food.
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle.
Okay, we've eaten. We had huevos rancheros, because that's what you do in New Mexico, by the way. So if you ever come here, now you know what to do. Or if you're from here, you know what to do. So,
and that's all you can do.
Yeah. No, breakfast is huevos rancheros.
Hey, if you're like, hey, why don't we go to the store real quick? Actually, you're going to huevos rancheros. And if you're like, hey, why don't we go to the bar and have a couple beers? Actually, it's huevos rancheros. Because that's what you do in New Mexico.
That's right. That's all you do. Wow. Tangent. So anyway, let's go over to Parabellum, shall we?
Okay.
All right. So what did Parabellum do? Well, they dropped a spanking new rule set for First Blood, which is the cousin of Last Argument of Kings, the rank and flank game. That's so good. But honestly, the old version of First Blood was kind of just Conquest watered down to use only a few models instead of lots of bases.
The reason why you didn't model your base, your models into the base,
glue things into bases.
That's why you pull them off. The stands.
But now with the new rule set, It's a completely redesigned system. It is no longer just a watered down version of Conquest, although it shares enough similarities that if you know Conquest, you're going to pick up First Blood in minutes as opposed to hours or days or months. It's similar enough that it's not going to throw you for a loop. And it still uses the models that you're using for Conquest. You just pluck them off their stands, put them down on the table, and go to it. And one of the big things to me that they did was they made it scale agnostic.
Mm-hmm.
They show things in squares, and those squares can be a foot, 2 foot, whatever. So if you want to play on a 2x2, go for it. If you want to play on a 4x4, go for it. Whatever size you want to play, the game will adjust itself to that. So it's kind of cool and giving you that freedom to make it either a, hey, this is down at the hobby store kind of game because we need a 4x6, or you can play it on your kitchen table. So nice. They revamped the combat mechanics a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I won't go into the details because that could be on a First Blood show on a Conquest Thursday. I don't know.
First Blood Friday. I don't know.
Yeah, First Blood Friday. I like that. But the Conquest is streamlined so that since you're going to be dealing with, on an average turn, when you're activating your units, you may be dealing with 4 guys all having to do their moves and attacks and all that stuff. They needed to streamline it a little bit, so they did. Really, really nice. If you want a real breakdown of how it all goes together, Doug over at 2 Plus Tough has done not just, he's done the faction overview video, he's done kind of an intro to First Blood, and then he goes and dives into how to play First Blood. So he's got a series of First Blood videos out there that are very, very good. It's Doug. He's going to do it, top notch.
Of course he is. Hey, one thing that's really cool right now that Corvus Belli was doing, so with the advent of First Blood, and I don't know if the sale's still going on, but double check if it is by the time that you listen to this. Yeah. They're doing the customize your 2-player starter pack for First Blood at a pretty reasonable rate. So you're like, hey, I want to start First Blood. I play this army in Conquest, but I really want to try out, I don't know, Euroni or something. And then, you've got a buddy who wants to try out, I don't know, Sorcerer Kings. We can customize it so that way you get the First Blood starter kits for both factions, as opposed to having to buy one that doesn't have a faction that you want, and your friend buys one that doesn't have a faction that they don't want. You can actually just go in and customize it because Parabellum is awesome. CB, PB, whatever.
Yep. Yeah, oddly enough, they place value in their customers, which is so strange in this hobby.
Who would have thought?
When actually it's not strange. It's just about everybody does it except one. Anyway, were you talking about Games Workshop? Only a little.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
You're going to buy it and you're going to like it, but I don't want, you're going to buy it.
Shut up. We put this package together for you, the consumer. But it's all shit nobody wants. Oh, yeah, right. We just made them good. Oh, okay. Anyway, that was so bad. Catalyst Game Labs, they have released finally the Force Manual Mercenary is out. The book, it's a hardcover book. It's just cut. If you have some of the older Force Manual Mercenaries books, some of it is reiterated, but a lot of it is brand new, and it covers of course, it covers the standard normal, your Eridani light horses in there, the Waco Rangers are in there. The things are in there. And then there's some others that they always add in for fun, and they are crazy, silly. But inside, it's got all the rules for building a mercenary force that would be period appropriate to whatever period you're trying to set it in. It's got all the rats that you need to, the rats are the random availability tables. So if you are playing late Succession Wars and you don't know exactly what mechs kind of would be in a mercenary company, it's got a table that is going to tell you, here's roll the dice. this is what you get. Or it has a lot, like 20 or 30 alternates that you can just choose from. So very handy if you're building your own force to kind of inform you if you're not totally focused on what you're going to do and what you're going to put together. This will get you going in a heartbeat. You can just, oh, this is what I should put in a striker lance. All right, cool.
For those of you like me who didn't understand anything that Bill just said, it's BattleTech.
It's BattleTech, yes. It's all. Did I not say BattleTech?
You said CGL.
Oh, Catalyst Game Labs. Yeah, no, it's BattleTech. It is BattleTech. Yes, it is big stompy robots stomping other big stompy robots, and that's where the fun is.
Apparently there are rats involved. I don't know.
Lots of rats.
Lots of rats.
Yeah, random availability tables have always been so hotly debated, and yet critical resources for everyone to just kind of, yes, you can go to the master unit list and you can filter by all the different time frames and then filter by the areas that you're in. And yes, you can do all that work yourself, or you can open up the book and go, here's a good selection of things that I can pick from. And I love it. It's awesome. And it's a great book. And if you like mercenary companies, it's perfect. So let's move on to Steam Forged Games. The War Machine people. So somehow, and I don't know, and I'm not going to cast aspersions here, but somehow War Machine jumped to the number 5 best-selling miniatures game. And I don't know, last few times I've been at game stores, I have been literally tripping over people who are playing War Machine. I mean, they're playing on the floors. There's just so much. No, I haven't seen a fucking game anywhere. And I mean, I grant you, we're in New Mexico. We're not like a hotbed of War Machine activity. We're not East Coast or West Coast, but I'm wondering if they're jumping to number 5 on the list has more to do with their release model of releasing STL files and some of these warjacks having optional different arm attachments and what have you, to where a model that you buy could be built as like 8 or 10 different versions. And I wonder if they're counting that like as a box of 10, because you could build any one of 10. So I don't know. It just seems odd that I don't think it was ever that popular in its heyday in second edition to be the number 5 selling game, but maybe it was. I don't know. It seems strange to me that it jumped up so hard. So if you have some sort of living non-anecdotal proof, it'd be interesting to see. But
I know next to nothing about War Machine other than when someone was talking about it coming back and it being like a really enjoyable process to re-enter the game. They looked at some of the models and there's a giant shark, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Chum is his name.
Yep. It's, honestly, it's one of those games that I was so into it in second edition when it was at its heyday, and it was such a great game. And then everything that they've done since has distanced me from the game because I just don't find it engaging anymore. Mm-hmm. It's not, and Steam Forged is doing their best to get rid of that cutthroat. It's just about every game is either tournament or tournament prep, and you're either in it for total hardcore or you're not. Get out. They're trying to get rid of that. Hell, they've released narrative formats for it. So hopefully they're trying to turn that shit around, and maybe they will. But until I see something proof positive that they're doing away with that mentality, I can't get back into it. That, and they've made all my investment of models null and void since they don't work anymore. Oh, well, oh, well.
I mean, they're really cool looking. I could say that. I mean, I've never played War Machine, never seen it played. But I mean, when I looked at them like 3 weeks ago online, I was like, oh, those are interesting to look at.
There was nothing to me that was more impressive on a table than a fully painted Signar army going up against a fully painted Menoth army. And it was just, or even, Kador or something, where it was just so, at a glance, you could tell what was going on. And it was just so amazing to watch. And the combat resolution was, honestly, it was so easy. Mm-hmm. And it's comparative numbers with a dice roll. And boom, I'm higher than you. I win. Yay. Do damage. Erase boxes. Yay. But they have, over time, they've made it a conglomerate of War Machine and Hordes and said, this is how it's going to be now. It's not two separate games anymore. Everybody uses the same mechanics, so naturally everything got watered down to make it work. And it's just not, I don't know. It just doesn't appeal anymore. That's all. No big deal. That's opinion. It's not fact.
Giant shark.
Yeah. If you like it, do it. Enjoy it. So are we ready to go? Let's do Fallout first.
Yeah.
Because Weird will give us more of a segue-ish kind of thing.
Springboard, I think.
Springboard, yeah. So I was incredibly shocked by this announcement. We knew that a new edition of Fallout Wasteland Warfare was coming. I had no idea that they were going to completely change the focus of the game. It has gone from a tabletop battle game where it was literally two forces duking it out, trying to achieve objectives and do missions, to now it is a solo/co-op game. And they have an AI system now for the enemy, the bad guy forces, and you can play it. The campaigns are designed to be played solo or cooperative with another player. There is going to be a head-to-head game mode, but they're not focusing on that at all. They have dropped the table size to 2 foot by 2 foot. And I'm like, wow, okay, this is cool. It's everything they said in the announcement video was really interesting, and it's a huge ballsy move to kind of refocus a game that much. And I like it. I think it's a bold move, Cotton.
I think there's also a lot of interest right now in those single player / co-op campaigning modes. I mean, we saw BattleTech do it.
Aces, yeah.
Kill Team did it, right?
Yep.
There's just been a sort of call to that. And I think that's really because, like, if you can't necessarily get together with, friends who want to do like competitive or, PvP style combat, you're just at home, and, maybe your significant other doesn't really like the PvP aspect, but hey, let's co-op together and let's see if we can take down, this group of mutants or something.
Yeah. Take down some super
fun.
mutants, take down some, Brotherhood. It's all good.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not to say Wasteland Warfare. The original Wasteland Warfare was a 2-player battle game. Mm-hmm. And then they kept coming out with expansions, and some of the expansions focus completely on solo play. So it's not like, oh, this is a total departure.
Yeah.
But to actually focus the entire game on that, I think it's cool. I like it. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said here, it's basically narrative with narrative sauce on a sesame seed narrative bun. That's what they kind of tried to bring out in their release video, was this is for you to play when there's nothing else available.
Yeah.
And, we have factions. We have Nuka World factions and Fallout factions. If you want to play that head-to-head kind of skirmish game. But, some of the big pluses for the new Wasteland Warfare is there are now, I think he said, a total of 12 different kinds of tokens. And one of the things that always kept me from playing Wasteland Warfare was the sheer volume of tokens. If you stubbed your toe, you have to have a stubbed your toe token. If, there was literally a token for everything. It was ridiculous.
You just put down a token.
Yeah,
and
exactly. I mean, it was, you should see that box. That original starter box was so much cardboard with the plastic minis, but so much cardboard just for tokens that were so useless. They were big in the game, but the system got watered down. They're getting rid of a bunch of dice from the resolution portion, streamlining the dice rolling quite a bit, which is nice. That's all very nice. All of the changes seem to be really, really focused on speeding up the gameplay and making it more interesting and fun.
Yeah.
And in a single-player environment or, a co-op, which to me, I can't wait to get that starter set going. And, Pam likes that kind of game.
Yeah.
So she'll try it, and that'll be fun. But that's the Wasteland Warfare. So look forward to that. If you're big into narrative gaming and stuff, that's going to be a lot of fun, I think. If you like the Fallout, world, and they're covering they have the New Vegas, they have the 76, they have the Boston, the Commonwealth. So anything that you like in Fallout is represented and available. And all the old models still work. So you're safe. you're marked safe from model changes. And then we go over to weird games, Malifaux.
Part of this is going to fold into our main topic.
Yeah. So I'm going to skip a couple of things here, but I do want to talk about the other side.
This was interesting.
This is huge announcement. And, the other side, if you really want a good breakdown, Defective Dice just did a video a couple of days ago about why this new other side, the other side, is so cool. And I will say I have experience of exactly one game of the other side, one whole game of it in my life. So it's not like it ever really grabbed me because it was just so weird. It came out at the wrong time. It was never supported. After it came out, we did this weird everybody stay home and wear a mask thing.
Yeah.
So it really was impacted by so many things that were out of Weird's control. And to come out and say, here's how we're going to fix the other side. And literally what they've done is they put it all on My Mini Factory with a full digital release. So what was old is now going to be on... What was out there before is now going to be released as STLs on My Mini Factory. I won't say it because by the time you are hearing this, it won't be there. But if you jump on to and subscribe to the tribe, it's $10 a month, $9 a month if you pay for the year in advance. And what they're going to give you is the full starter set, which includes the rule books and the bases, all those things that you're going to print out multiple times to play the game. All the bases, some terrain, and some character models and all that stuff. And then, of course, because the tribe, each month, they're going to be releasing stuff that you're going to get for free, and you'll be able to print out. Now, I get it. If you don't have a 3D printer or a resin printer, it's not super appealing, but you probably know somebody, or you have a library in your town, or you have a maker factory in your town where you can get this stuff done. Or they're talking right now about trying to hook up some print and play places, but there's a lot of places out there that you send them the licensed STLs and they will print them out for you. So it'll be available to everybody.
And the concept of the other side, just for those who are curious and never heard of it, is that while Malifaux is happening in Malifaux itself, the other side is literally Earthside, right? And it's the larger scale warfare that's going on Earthside.
Yeah.
So it's just sort of like a parallel kind of, I mean, I haven't really read into any story or anything like that, but it's like a parallel game.
Yeah, and it's, you'll look at the bases, and the large bases have slots for 3 30 mil bases on them. So you're looking at a bigger skirmish scale game, but not a full up Warhammer 40K. I've got 100 models on the table, and a lot of really interesting scenarios. The way the factions are broken down is representative more of what's going on Earth.
Yeah.
Where, you will have like the King's Army, the Brits. You'll have the Gibbering Hordes, which, everybody's favorite. Oh, the Griblies are here. Ooh. So lots of different. And of course, you have the 3 Kingdoms, which is where the 10 Thunders come from. Mm-hmm. So everything is well represented, a larger scale. And it's a fun game. I had fun playing it. I don't remember it enough to say, here the mechanics were, and this is what's great about them. But I do remember having fun with it, so I don't know. But if it's something that appeals to you, jump on to their website.
Yeah.
There's a whole discussion of it. And then if you're up to it, jump on. You don't have to subscribe for a year. You can subscribe month by month.
Yeah.
And if it's not something that's going to appeal to you, just stop paying. Don't worry about it. So, but a lot of lore comes out on the other side. So a lot of the lore that affects both sides comes out on the other side. So if you're looking for lore dumps, that's a great place to go. So let's get into hobby.
Your boys have been busy.
Yes. Shall we go through this?
Kick us off, Bill.
All right, I will kick us off. So I built and primed all my remaining Warcrow models except the Northern Tribes, because piss on the Northern Tribes and Siocast. But I built all the Feudum. Now, I'll say that I built the Songs of the Dormant box, which is all Siocast, and they were not that bad. They were okay. I broke a bow, but that was me, not them. So then starting to build the rest of the Feudum stuff, all of the knights, so the Guardians of the Mounds and the Knights of the dinner table, whatever they were. They're all Unicool. So those Unicool models, you just literally kind of, oh, look, put them together, show it some super glue, and it's a model.
Yeah.
It's awesome. The Siocast stuff that came out for Feudum and Cyanin, I have to say, their Siocast, which, I mean, it has a lot of pluses. It loves to eat super glue, and super glue dries so fast on that. It's wonderful. But I also got some wrong parts with my, as I was going through the Northern Tribe stuff. I think I talked about it earlier. But honestly, for the Cyanin and the Feudum, I didn't have any issues. I had one issue with the leader lady for Feudum, Morena. I forgot what the issue was, but I brought it back to Vic, and he was like, "Yep, that's screwed up. Give me another one." So
Go beans.
Yeah. Northern Tribes definitely needs a redo. As far as Malifaux goes, oh gosh, I spent probably a day and a half, 2 days going through all my old stuff that's scattered about to find all my old Malifaux stuff. And I only did this because I was under the impression, I thought I recalled selling it all. And I went back through some of my older emails because I knew I had sent someone a list of what I had. And I was reasonably sure they bought it and came and got it. And then I remembered that, no, they didn't. They never came and got it. They never paid either, so that's okay. But so I went through and I started finding all my old stuff. But I had the Victoria. I started out with the Victoria crew, Victoria Chambers from the Outcasts, and got her base crew all painted up. And then I had Taylor and I had Bishop and, some of the others, some of the Desperate Mercenaries. I don't have them painted yet, but they will get done. So everything there, I got Molly or LMA Chesterfield and the 6-arm shooter all painted up. So it's a decent enough list. It's not going to win anything, but it'll do. It'll get going. It'll get on the table. I mean, they really gutted Outcasts. They really gutted them, which is okay. We'll talk about it more in lore. But the working now on Lady Justice. I've still got to find the scales on Asset 17 for the 2 different sides of her. So probably going to proxy those. Working on Colette. Colette's all built. I need to build the Arcane Emissary still for her. But
which Colette?
Huh?
Which Colette?
The what's the name? Showgirl.
Okay.
And I have like 3 different versions of her. I'm going with the one in the new box because I like it. I like it the most. The old version is, I think that goes back to sex sells boxes. So, it's, I never really liked the model. It was metal. And the art on the front of the box is like, wow, she's hot. And then the metal that you got inside the box that's a blob. It didn't translate well. So, but that was the old days. So, so getting her kind of finished out, got to pick up a couple of side models for that crew. I found my old Nikema. Oh my God. I was on some sort of mind-altering drugs when I painted Nikema. She was different. She was, let's just say that I had dropped her in a bunch of 91% alcohol.
Yeah.
And then had to scrub because I don't know what I used for paint, but it wasn't acrylic. It wasn't something easy. It was horrible. But she's ready to go. And like I said, I found my Gen Con 2011 stuff. That's the vintage McMorning, that Baby Cade, the old Baby Cade with the onesie and the candy. So I'm looking forward to doing those. And I got to say this. When I say what I mean is my wife found and then turned me onto it. This awesome tape that you can get. It's called Removable Nano Tape. You can find it all over Amazon. And it's literally a sticky plastic dual-sided tape that you use for hanging posters and, frames and all that stuff. Lightweight stuff. Although it says it holds 800 pounds. Yeah, no, I don't think so. But anyway. What's awesome about it is it's double-sided. You put it onto your painting stick or your squad sprayer. Oh my God. Or your squad sprayer.
We got there.
I got there. And it sticks your models to very, very nicely to the painting handle. And the beauty of it is you pop your models off carefully because it's pretty sticky. And then you wipe the plastic down with 91% alcohol or some other kind of paint stripper, but I would use 91% alcohol, and it's instantly sticky again. It's completely reusable. And I've probably now used the same handle and the squad sprayer about maybe 5-10 times.
Nice.
With no loss of adhesion. So no more double-sided tape every single time you want to go outside and rattle can some models. So highly recommended. It's called Removable Nano Tape. So go buy some. It'll help your life. So yeah, I did a bunch of models. Like I said, all of the Feudum, all of the Cyanin, all the remainder of everything for Warcrow that is out now is now built that I have. So I was kind of happy with that. And then you came along. half a page of my agenda.
Yeah, we could just skip this. No.
You're going through it each line.
I did a lot.
Yeah,
I became very obsessed with Malifaux. That's not the first thing I painted. I painted up those Centaur Prodromoy and the Ziliarch.
Oh wow.
That I talked about, building and priming last time.
Yep.
Got those fully painted up. They are good to go for the army. Interesting side note, every time I try to type Ziliarch in my phone, it changes it to Chiliarch. So I think that's just what he's going to be.
Chiliarch.
He's just going to be the Chiliarch, bro. So got all those done. Slap chop method. I built, painted, and primed the Pandora Despair's Desire 4th edition crew box that comes with Pandora, Baby Cade, Candy, the Poltergeist, and 3 Sorrows.
Yipper.
So got all those done. I built, primed, and painted the Silken King from the starter box because I got that as well. Those ones are fully ready to go. That's the Silken King, the Nymph, the Colony, and the 3, oh my God, just normal warrior dudes.
Wandering, what are they? Oh, I forgot what they are.
And then there's, his totem, the little gremlin dude.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
Oh, gosh.
I forgot the Gribbly is. But yeah, so that's 7 models.
Yeah.
Those ones are really fun. I wanted to go completely different directions, so I went with like very vibrant, bright colors.
Yeah.
It was like bright pinks and blues and purples, and
they should look like they just came out of the sea.
Yeah, right. Interestingly enough, the alternate version of the Silken King, because with Malifaux you get 2 different versions of each master. The totem for the Silken King monstrous version is a crab called the Anchor. I cannot wait for that.
We need
gonna
more crab.
Paint him like Sebastian.
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna play Under the Sea or kiss the girl the entire time I'm playing games with him.
Yeah.
So beware.
Wow.
I built and primed the ampersand from the starter box. I've partially painted them. For them, like I'm working on just like details right now.
Yeah.
But I got like most of the base coats down. Need to sort of tie it together. I built and primed the Dreamer Fast Asleep crew box.
Yep.
That's going to be Dreamer, Coppelius, Lord Chompy Bits himself.
Yes.
And then 3 Alps. I love putting together the Lord Chompy Bits model. Like, for some reason, the larger models, with the exception of Malosaurus, the larger models that Weird puts out, like, they are just so fun to put together.
Yeah.
Like, the pieces just fit nice and tight and all that stuff. But whenever you're putting together the smaller models, like in Pandora's box,
oh, God.
Dear Lord, I was driven crazy by it. And I'm fairly confident the original sprue designer who worked for MCP, who liked to, make heads
in 3 parts,
3 to 5 parts.
Yeah.
Their face is cut in half. You have to glue that together.
Yeah.
Hope you don't have, a seam. Oh, great, guys. Anyway, then I didn't build Snuggles. Snuggles is one piece, but he's the special edition version of Lord Chompy Bits.
Yep.
Absolutely love that model. Giant teddy bear with a straight jacket, chains over it, but the center of the jacket's open and a mouth is there with a giant tongue.
He's so cool.
So cool. I built and primed the Stitch Together as well as the Daydreams. Those come in the same box.
Yeah.
Those are just other little minion choices for the Dreamer. I built, primed, and painted Teddy. Absolutely love all the different Teddy models. One of these days, if I'm feeling up to it, I might drop the $200 or something to get the old Nightmare Edition metal version of Teddy that's like,
oh my God,
3 feet tall and like about to eat a kid. That model is horrifying.
Yes.
And that
Awesome.
that is the pinnacle of what the Dreamer is, I think.
Yeah.
I also built in Prime the Delirium and the Delirious Thralls box, because those go both with Pandora and with the Dreamer.
Yep. Yep.
Really good model. Really good model. Built in Prime the Suzuki sisters, the versatile all-star for Neverborn.
Oh, yeah.
They are cracked. Like,
Yeah, they are broken.
10 point or 10 soulstone model. And like, I don't know, like, good luck trying to stop them. I mean, they turn black jokers into red jokers.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how dumb is that?
They are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are difficult to kill. They heal and they just can control the board. So
Yes.
they're kind of like a must have if you want to get into higher level play, which I'm not there yet, but I have them for when that happens. Built in Prime Allosaurus Rex. He is the former Explorer League giant dino with the octopus tongue, who has now been brought to his proper home in Neverborn.
Yeah.
I think he would look so good with Titania.
Oh, yeah.
Titania's autumn form with him, like, oh my god, yeah, he just fits right into her menagerie. More on that later. I built, primed, and painted the Euripides crew box. As you'll hear us talk probably more at length here in just a few moments. Not the 4th edition boxes aren't all out yet. Only a few actually are out, and it's been a slow drip.
Oh boy, hasn't it ever?
So I went back and I got the 3rd edition boxes for Euripides crew. So the core box comes with Euripides Hierophant. That's his first version. You get Thune, who's just a ridiculous beater. You get the Primordial Magic. It's the little snake totem that goes around with him.
Yep.
That gives him an extra card in hand.
Yeah.
Holy crap. And you get 3 Gigants. The Gigants are like meh. Like, they're okay. But then the real meat of Euripides comes with like the Garion and the Cyclops.
Yeah.
So I got both of those boxes, built, primed, and painted the Garion and the Cyclops, finished them up last night. And for those of you out there who don't know what it is to be a real man, the Cyclops female model is more woman than you'll ever be able to handle. Like, I just got to say, she literally has the Arctic shelf.
Yepper.
How I painted mine is, I did like sort of like this bluish icy tone to their skin. And then for their clothing, I used human flesh tones. And then I would put snow on them. And so her big old booty that's sticking out the top of her loincloth is literally the Arctic shelf because it's collected snow.
Yeah. I like it.
Boy, that was a lot of Malifaux.
Yeah.
Damn you,
bit.
Bill.
Well, what did I do? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, you did. Other than that, I did make, moving to Magic the Gathering, I built a Marilyn Faye Ascendant, I think that's her name, CDH deck, competitive commander deck. So she's a Sultai commander, which means she's black, green, and blue in color identity. She has that ability that when she or another elf or fairy enters target opponent, exiles the top 2 cards of their library, and then you can cast a spell amongst them for free equal to the number of fairies with converted mana cost equal to or less than the number of fairies and elves that you control. But you can also do this thing where you can create infinite creature mana using Food Chain and Eternal Scourge or Mist Hollow Griffin, and then you can cast your infinite email out your entire opponent's libraries and then make them draw cards and lose a game. So
Wow.
that's a fun deck. On the lower end of power spectrum, I made a Captain Nagathra deck. So if you ever look up his card, he's just Davy Jones
Oh,
from Pirates of the Caribbean. Like,
nice.
I'm surprised they weren't sued for IP. But yeah, he's a pirate captain with like tentacle face. And his thing is that he is a pirate horror. And he gives horrors the ability that whenever they get menace, which means they can only be blocked by 2 or more creatures. And when they deal combat damage to a player, that player mills that many cards.
Wow.
Mills means you take them from the top of your library and put them in the grave. And then Captain Nagathrod's other ability is at the beginning of the end step, you may take a creature that was put into a graveyard, opponent's graveyard, right, from their library this turn, and put it onto the battlefield under your control. So mill opponents, take their creatures, make them mine. That's what he does.
Fair.
I have ways to double that stuff. So sometimes I get like 3 or even 4 triggers of taking people's creatures. It also triggers that when horrors deal damage to my opponents, that it'll trigger 2, 3, 4 times. So they'll mill that many cards. So it was just such a fun deck concept. Again, not very high on the power scale. It's more just horror tribal and lots of fun in making my opponents frustrated that I'm playing their cards. I'm also working. So big news for, I should have said this in the news. Magic just dropped the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set.
Oh, big time.
If you are a Turtles fan, and I'm not talking just, I kind of like the show. If you played the games and all that stuff, they have so much nostalgia and it's just on point for flavor. I heard a lot of people that didn't really know Turtles before and they just missed them, right? So this was like really like a love letter to Turtles fans.
Nice.
And I loved it. But there's a card that sounds really bad on its face, but I undertook a challenge to try and make this guy work. So one of the many Casey Jones cards is Casey Jones Vigilante. He costs 1 and 2 red. He's a 4/3 human berserker. He comes into play. You draw 3 cards, but at the beginning of your next upkeep, you discard 3 cards at random.
Oh boy.
Red is known for discarding at random or discarding to draw cards, but this is where you get to draw 3 and discard 3 at random, so you have no idea what's going to go down. But hear me out. You have this like draw engine essentially in the command zone if you know how to clone him. And so there's a bunch of different cards in red that create copies of target creature. And then there are other like red spells that like one's called bonus round. And so bonus round says, if you cast it, then every spell that you cast, you can cast an additional time. Of course, there are ways to cast bonus round from the graveyard as well. So you can do this thing where you can cast bonus round multiple times.
Oh, shit.
And make it so every time you cast a spell, you cast it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, right?
God.
And then what you do is you cast the copy spells, right? So like I'm going to make token copies of Casey. And so like I make 3, 4 Casey Jones, which means I draw 9 to 12 cards, knowing at my next upkeep I have to discard at random. And there are cards, I will admit, that make you skip your upkeep, which is dumb.
Yeah.
Because it's all about that threat of like, if I don't go off on this turn, I'm just done.
Yeah. I like it.
But there are cards that make it kind of crazy if you do let yourself discard. So one of them is that like whenever you discard 1 or more cards, this creature deals that much damage to an opponent. And so you're like, okay, cool. I'm going to draw, 60 cards. Crap, I couldn't go off this turn, but I got that creature out, right? And you're like slowly like, I'm going to kill you. 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 I'm going to,
Wow.
The deck is just, it reminds me of like a chaos style deck where it's just like I'm just going to pull the trigger and see if anything happens this turn, folks. Let's go.
I don't know if I have a win condition, but fuck it.
Yeah. F it, we ball. All right. That's Casey Jones. So that has been my lengthy and making me out of breath list of hobby I did this time. Let it be known, folks, it was Anger episode 15. I finally beat Bill in the amount of hobby.
Big time. Big time.
You want to talk about bat reps now?
Sure. I don't have that much because I didn't do that much. I spent a lot of this time having that stomach flu again. Oh, not recommended.
At least the time flew by.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, I took Tuesday completely off. I just didn't go to work, didn't do nothing. But anyway, ongoing Aces campaign. This one is filled with sadness. Our memorial wall is larger than our roster currently. We have had so many pilots die. Just headshot die, having the center torso of the mech hollowed out, and the recovery on the pilot was like, oh, major injury result, dead. Oh, god dang it. So yeah, for some reason we just are killing pilots left and right. It's messed up, but oh well, we're still slightly ahead on this one, so we're gonna see it to its conclusion. And other than that, we played 2 Farewell to Shatterpoint games. And these were no holds barred, just play hard and crazy and fast. And I did an Inquisitor's Hask list, Inquisitors with Vader, Hask with all the cheese. And, won with that because if you don't win with that, there's something wrong with you. And then I did a Jen Cassian list because I really liked that list. And it went off brilliantly. It was so good. I just about every time, I almost didn't care what I rolled because I was either going to change it or adjust it or re-roll it. So it was like, wow.
Did your models hug at the end?
Huh?
Did your models hug at the end?
Yeah, we all hugged it out before we went to the garage.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no. The one game store that I was going to that was doing the Shatterpoint stuff, they kind of had that little ceremony at the end of I won't call it an event because it was just a little happy get together. And but it was kind of honestly, I'm going to fire sale all the stuff that I still have on the shelves because if they're not going to support it, I am not going to be wasting shelf space on it. So he was like, do you guys want to buy anything before I put all this stuff into the storeroom? And we were all like, sorry. I mean, I'd love to, but no, sorry. It's just there's zero reason to purchase it now that the game's dead. So yeah, it was kind of bittersweet, but
did anyone take their models out and burn them with lighter fluid?
So tempted to get some, just buy a box, throw it together, and then take it out to the back there and have a little bonfire. But again, it's just, I just can't see that. That's literally burning money.
Yeah.
For what reason? No. But yeah, we thought about, let's do the Games Workshop protest. Let's burn our models.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That'll show them. So anyway.
Got him.
Your shot.
Yeah. The only gaming I got in was a couple Commander games, other than being embarrassingly addicted to Hogwarts Legacy. Look, all right, just because I have 72% of all the trophies right now, because I've been painstakingly going through the game at every step to get every single trophy. Anyway, I had 2 Commander games. One was my Captain Nagothrod versus the Master of Keys. Master of Keys is an Esper commander. He is blue, white, black, for those who don't know that color combination. His casting cost is X and Esper colors, and he comes into play with X +1/+1 counters on him, and you mill twice X cards, and you can play enchantments from your graveyard. That's what he does, right? So it's enchantment combo, right?
Okay.
And the other one was Heroes in a Half Shell because one of the local players got his Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles commander deck early.
Oh, yeah.
So he decided he wanted to play Heroes in a Half Shell as the commander instead of Leonardo plus one of the character selects. Okay, let me break that down. So it is a 5-color deck, so it has all different colors.
Oh, wow.
Right? The face commander, the one that you're generally meant to play, is Leonardo. He costs 3 and a white, but he does have printed on his card an ability that costs all colors, so he's considered a 5-color commander. But he has partner character select, and so you can pick another legendary creature with character select, and you can have them both as your commander. So every single one of the turtles and one of the Aprils has character select.
Okay.
So you can customize it with Leonardo plus another character. But then there's Heroes in a Half Shell, which is supposed to be all the turtles.
Aww.
And it costs one of each color, and it's like okay. It's an okay card. So you decided to play that card instead of Leonardo plus something and have more tactics involved. That deck out of the box, though, is so cool. It is so fun. It is so much Ninja Turtles that, like, I don't know, like the 80s child of me is really giddy. So that one, I was mana starved. And the thing is, I usually play like 29, maybe 30 like lands in my deck, which is more like a CDH gameplay style, right? Because I'll usually have the mana rocks and all the stuff to, accelerate mana, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
No, this deck has like 39 lands in it, plus, mana rocks, so I can make sure I get my mana out there. I was mana screwed most of that game.
Oh my God.
I missed 5 land drops, and I never got a single one of my 14 mana acceleration pieces out on top of the 39 lands.
Jeez.
So I'm just sitting here like, oh my God. The funny thing was, though, is like I got down to 9 health, And I had a run where I almost took the game away, but then the master of keys, comboed off. Might as well be the master of combos. He comboed off with a bunch of like crazy like enchantment effects. I was like, there's no way I can win this now. You know, like he was copying creatures, but copying enchantments, and copying the enchantments allowed him to play cards for free off the top of his deck. It was just this like deluge.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, cool win though. Like, that was pretty cool. Then the next one was my Maryland deck versus the Heroes in a Half Shell versus Black-White Aristocrat combo. Black-White Aristocrats can be really scary. Really scary. Because most of their stuff is super cheap to set up, and then they get like a Blood Artist effect whenever a creature is sacrificed. Then, you know, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life, or each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life, right?
Damn.
So you just get these things where you can do like infinite sacrifice, and it doesn't take much to turn on, right? So I was like racing against the clock to see if I could get Maryland to combo off. I got her to combo off on turn 4 because it's much more mid-rangey, as she should be. But I won at that point because I exiled everyone's decks. And
oops.
yeah, the Aristocrats player, if it got back to his turn, would have just wiped us. And I was like, I need to top deck the card, which is either going to be a land or Eternal Scourge. It was Eternal Scourge. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. That moment.
Oh
when
my
you
God.
go, I can win this.
Yeah, it's just that.
Yeah.
It's glowing.
The light shines in from outside. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was those are the games I got in. I can't wait. Well, I mean, it's not really bat repping. I mean, I've been like doing like little tests with the Malifaux models so I can get in the habit of flipping cards and understanding damage and all that stuff. I just got some MDF terrain in, and I need to get the cutter for it.
Yeah.
So I can put it all together, but it's like an entire, I think it's like four buildings plus a gallows with boxes and barrels for like a, you know, main street type affair. And I've already got the desert mat for it. So
nice.
Once I get those cut up and put together, it's going to be fun.
Hells yeah.
All right. That's the battle reports. So it's time to get into Two Sides of Malifaux.
Yeah, let's take a quick break and we'll be back with the show.
The world has gotten even stranger than you already know.
At this point, I doubt anything would surprise me.
$10 says you're wrong.
All right, here we are at the meat of the show. The Two Sides of Malifaux, or two perspectives on getting into the game. From a returning player, me, to a new player, Josh, who seems to be addicted. I feel like a plastic crack dealer now, but I don't really, because it's a fun game.
It's so cool.
I think you'll find it is fun. It is truly, there's just so many opportunities to do crazy, fun things. And it's such a cinematic game as it plays.
Well, particularly now with how they redid 4th edition.
Yeah.
Like really sitting and taking the time to digest everything with no previous knowledge, right, of how the game played.
Yep. There's
a new player perspective, right? What's really cool is that like the rules and the crew cards are absolutely 100% free.
Yeah.
In that, like, I had no idea what to do coming into this.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of liked, like this Lucius guy is super cool, right? So I got him. And then once I start learning a bit more and, you know, I'm like looking at his, you know, what crew he can take and all that. And I'm like, oh boy, like he's so much finesse and he has no real punch. I'm going to need to take a step back from Lucius and try and refigure out what I want to do. But that having the free resources let me do that.
Oh yeah.
You know, one thing from the start, there's not a lot online. No. Normally you're like, oh, hey, I really want to get into this game. Let me go watch stuff. You know, there's Warcraft everywhere. There's MCP everywhere. Yep. You know, there's like BattleTech's been around forever. So the saturation of content is there.
Yeah, it's huge.
Malifaux's been around for a hot minute.
Yeah.
4th edition, what was like September?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit earlier?
Yep.
Around September of last year is when 4th edition dropped. Good luck finding a battle report.
Yeah, they're few and far between.
Like you have Warrior Tables Gaming who did a really good paced introduction of how to play the game using the starter set. Yep. Did a battle report based off of that. You got a couple who used TTS, Tabletop Simulator, to do a couple games. I saw one that was played in LGS in England. You know, folks were using proxies for, and I think that was Pandora versus, I want to say, Ivan.
Okay, yeah.
And it's like kind of painful to watch because the thing is, at the same time, there's no one really out there going, okay, here's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Let me explain this. I'm
Yes.
going to show you the card, right?
Yep.
Warriors Table Gaming did have Nelly versus Molly, so it's going to be Molly the Resurrectionist versus Nelly the reporter I talked about last time, who I'm so interested in getting her going, just because she has the funniest models, I think.
Those newsies are fucking hilarious.
Newsy's the undercover reporter in the barrel. You've got some guy with an octopus suit who goes and puts down cameras.
Yeah.
And like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're hilarious. They are like, they're not killing. I mean, like, they can kill if you like do it right, but their whole thing is displacement and
just ruining what the other guy's trying to do.
Yeah.
And that's where they shine, is achieving schemes and the strat while having this amazing ability to deny that to everyone else.
Yeah.
And that's where it is such a finesse play. It is such a it's brain intensive to play somebody like that.
And you know, that's how Lucius is going to be too. That's how your Colette's going to be, right? Like seeing how like you have these very finessey crews that require a lot of intensive skill. Like one, like it's daunting as a new player to look at that.
Yeah.
Right. And just like I think all this works together synergistically, and of course it does, but like I think it does, but I just can't comprehend it right now.
It's one of those, and I'll always say this about Malifaux, is you will start a crew, and especially in 4th edition where they give you these tailored boxes, so much goodness. They give you the core, and honestly, I wish more people played at 35 points so that you could just start out playing the boxes.
Yeah.
Because I think as you get to 50 points, you start to lose the new players because now the options become limitless. There's 0 guardrails, and you can screw up the synergy of your original box really quickly.
Yes.
Or literally take models that don't play into it at all and leave you feeling like, well, this is dumb.
Yeah.
So I really wish there was a lot more at 35. I think we should start doing a couple of just box games.
Oh, I definitely think we should. And the thing is, you're going to find out, again, new player perspective, the box games, right? So some boxes are going to be in the neighborhood of like 32 points, right? Give or take a point. You know, like Euripides core box, even though they don't have the 4th edition core box out, but if you just get his core box from 3rd edition, which is totally serviceable, it's 33 points, right? If you get Lucius's starting box, it's 24.
Yeah.
So there are a subset of the boxes that are going to be at that 24 range, right? I think McMorning's box was that with the Chihuahua.
Yeah, the ones with anybody that has summoning is going to be considerably lower because they're going to summon. So now I don't think
Lucius
doesn't summon. Yeah,
no, he doesn't.
But McMorning, does he?
Well, I don't think Malpractitioner does. Isn't Insanitary the one that does?
Yeah, I know, because I would play the Insanitary because that's where you get the, what's his name, Rogue Necromancy. Anyway, that model is badass.
So, so coming as a new player, looking at 4th edition product.
Yeah.
Right? There's not a lot out right now, and that's a big gripe. You know, I know Bill has that gripe, especially as a returning player. There's not a lot out right now, and they promise about all these things that are going to be coming out, like, oh, here's our March release, here's our April release.
Yeah, their
here's
roadmap is huge.
But then they're releasing things from like 2 months from now, right? Because I think one of the Yon Lows wasn't set to release until April, and it's out already.
And it's out now, and Sonia Crid's box is out.
You know, wasn't Lady Justice was supposed to be right after her, but they haven't launched her box yet,
which is killing me.
Yeah,
just killing me. But I don't care. So
yeah, Bill likes his ladies with swords.
It's funny. I do. Yeah.
The Vix.
The Vix.
Sonia Creed.
Nikima. Sonia.
Nikima.
Yeah. Lady Justice. Yeah, it's
all ladies with swords, like if you look at what Bill's playing.
Yeah, again, one of the reasons why I wanted to start with the Vix is because they're such a straightforward play style. It's not that they do it well, but it's a killy team. They don't kill well, and we'll talk about the Outcast nerf here shortly and the balance issues right now, but they are a very straightforward team. We either shoot you or we gang up on you so meanly that we kill you, and then we'll spend the later turns scheming. we'll get our points later. First, we kill you. And then it's, what I like in this game now is that there's so much kill mitigation now that it makes having a killy team, you don't feel as much of an asshole as you used to for being super killy.
Well, it's
and
interesting.
Alpha striking. So,
I mean, that was so if you go online, you could find it. Defective Dice and Danger Planet both interviewed Justin from Weird, who was like the head of the design team for like the rules for fourth edition.
Yeah.
And it's a great couple discussions. There's a lot of overlap in terms of content, but it's good to hear, like the two different discussions. But, one of the things they talked about was, there was so much complexity in third edition. And I've watched a lot of like third edition stuff because there's not much else out.
Yeah.
And I'm watching them like, I see what you're doing here and it's something I could eventually learn.
Yeah.
But as a new player, like it's going right over my head. And one thing Justin talked about is when you get to like the damage flips, that's where people's eyes would glaze over. And he says he's literally had people walk away.
Yeah.
Because it's just too much. Too much.
It to me, that's one of the biggest changes to the game was the destruction of the damage flip. Thank you, God. I still think they need to look at the damage numbers that some people are doing, some cards have on them, but it's still so much a better system now in that you can realistically predict within a close range of what damage you're going to do if your attack hits.
Yeah.
And so much better to plan around and with than it used to be because, there was nothing worse than cheating in to get a good hit or, flipping a joker to get a hit. And then you flip the black on the damage and you're just like, all that work went out the tube. Yeah. It was awesome when you flipped the red.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was really, really great. You could whack a model in one turn usually, but still there was a hell of a lot more downsides to it than there were upsides. So having that go away not only speeds it up so much, but it's just better. It's give me something that I can reasonably have expectations of the damage numbers I'm going to do.
Well, yeah, and it becomes much more binary now as compared to like, okay, so you have 3 different damages you can do because it's weak, moderate, severe.
Yeah.
And so then like, okay, so flip the attack. Well, you're only 4, right? Yeah. So that means you have 2 negative flips, to try and see what damage you do. But hey, if you were 6 over, then you actually get positive flip. And like, I only picked this up because I've heard him say it over and over and over and over again, but that to me was just so not okay.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I'm coming into it when I see it's like, okay, I'm going to flip for we both flip at the same time for attack defense. Okay. I'm winning. So you get a cheat first.
Yep.
You cheat. Well, I decide I'm going to cheat too. And then we're done.
Yes.
Right. Calculate damage, walk away.
We do our raises, we apply damage and walk away.
And like that, like watching the videos, practicing it myself, it's just so clean and so efficient.
And even when you're on the clock, which I highly recommend, even if you're just starting out, use a chess clock. Even if it's just to get in the habit of clicking it back and forth and saying, it's your clock, it's your clock, it's your clock, because every tournament you go to is going to have a clock. It's just standard in this game. It's not a bad thing. Don't think of it as it's horrible. Most of the people that are playing 4th edition will tell you that they haven't seen anybody clock out yet. It hasn't happened. So it's not a limitation, but just get in that habit and it gets you ready for tournament play, even though that's not stressed as much as it used to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's still the tournament play for sure, but the mechanics that they put in here, some slight changes they did, again, like trying to make it that cinematic thing. Like,
oh yeah.
One of the things Justin talked about is like adding the ability to jump roof to roof, right?
Oh yeah.
And how they wanted
God.
So in this one, you have your strategy, which is your overall points you're trying to get for the mission in 4 rounds. But then each round you have the ability to have a scheme, and that scheme can branch off into one of 3 different schemes depending on which one you picked. And you can discard a scheme to go to one of the next 3.
Yep.
And so he was talking about this cool thing where it's like the first thing you want to do is, you need to scout the rooftops. So then you get people on the rooftops, right? And then you want to make it look like an accident. So you jump to the next roof and push the guy off. and like, it's actually cool how like that, all that stuff chains together. Like most of the talking heads right now, when it comes to the actual gameplay aspect of it, are like tournament oriented.
Yeah.
So like that's usually like Danger Planet. And they have like videos on schemes and strategies.
Yep.
Where they go through and review them all from a tournament player perspective. So, I watched them both, and like a lot of stuff just goes over my head.
Yeah.
And it's certainly that kind of like more intense, like tournament minded viewpoint where it's like, here's how I maximize points. But like as the new player coming in, I'm like, well, this is really cool. I can try and achieve these different objectives as I'm going through the game. Again, as a primarily narrative gamer, I think that's really fun. And so one of the things not only can you go look and see like, okay, I really like how this crew looks, right? Oh, I'm such a big fan of the Bayou because I like the goblin-y look of the gremlins.
Oh, yeah.
But I really, really, I really like the Moonshiner because I am an alcoholic and and I really want to play that guy. So I'm going to go ahead and go with that. Just joking, folks, of course. But if you see something in like the facts you really like I really like that. Well, there's also corresponding lore because the lore has been going on for years.
Oh, God, yes.
And so you have the ability to go back and listen to like, okay, so not only do I visually like this, reading the rules, even as a new player, I kind of get an idea of how they play. So I think I could really jive with this. Let me go back and find out more about these characters themselves. There's so much out there. So Defective Dice is just king for lore videos.
Jeff is amazing. I mean, to do every master and a couple of them again, and a couple of the very prominent non-master characters, the man deserves a YouTube kind of Emmy for all that work. I mean, it's really, he puts a lot of effort into curating those lore videos. And I mean, this is one place where on the agenda, we just agreed. If you want to know about Malifaux lore, go to Defective Dice.
Yep.
Go to his playlist on the Masters, or start off with his Malifaux background.
Yeah.
Where he's going to show you the map. He's going to tell you what everything is, where everyone's located, and it really grounds you for the rest of the videos. Because when he talks about Ampersand and he talks about the City of Promise and all this stuff, I mean, it's easy to understand Malifaux City. That's the heart of it. But the outlying places out there, all these places, if you don't kind of have an idea, it will sort of, you'll get confused. So watch the Malifaux history stuff playlist first, then go into the Masters, and you'll know from there who you want to play.
Oh, for sure.
And these are great videos because he doesn't put a lot of stuff on the screen. Usually it's just artwork that pops up on the screen. So it's great to just sit there and have on while you're painting or building. You don't have to look at it. You just listen to him go on and on about these different, and then he'll tell you why he thinks they're cool.
Yeah.
I love that part.
Yeah. And I can't wait for him to do like revamps of his old series, like getting started essentially with a faction, where what he would do is he would go into like a little bit of the lore for each master, and then he'd bring someone on to talk about their play style.
Yep.
And he did it by faction.
Yeah.
So it was easy to go pick out, okay, I want to do this one, I want to do this one. The value they have right now is they still have lore content.
Oh, big
right?
time,
The play styles, I mean, like some have significantly changed.
Almost all of them have.
Some of them more focused on certain things. Like, let me give you an example, right? So Euripides used to work with ice pillar mechanics. Right? Just like Rasputina does from the Archivists. But they changed it so that Euripides does not use ice pillars, but he still gets the same effects for the most part. Like you can freeze models solid.
Yeah.
So that way they can't do anything unless they take actions to break free. Whereas Rasputina still summons ice pillars.
Yeah.
So they
does line of sight from them. Oh God, she's such a badass. Anyway, I'm sorry. Derailed.
Yeah, she's probably the one archivist I really would want to play. Next, Karis a little bit, but anyway.
I love Karis.
So you can go through and still get an idea of them, since there's not a lot of fourth out there, I'm still listening to a bunch of third edition content.
Yep.
I'm trying to avoid like gameplay stuff so much.
Tactics is out.
When you go through and you're like, oh, what's this? What about this master and all that? And people talk about the technical aspects of how they play and everything. It's out the window.
Yeah.
But, you still get an idea for sort of what the vibe, I'll call it, of the crew is. And then, of course, Weird puts out their own lore in the Breachside Broadcast, which is a sweeping podcast that the core Breachside broadcast has about 196 episodes, ranging anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
And if you go to the very beginning and listen, it is the introduction of a lot of characters into Malifaux.
Yep.
And building up that story and going through the Burning Man, right? Which is sort of like the big overarching
You
story.
really have to go back to episode 1.
Yeah.
It's don't listen to it from current because you'll get lost.
Yeah.
As they mention people and things that you have no clue
Yeah.
about. Start at episode 1 and let them build the world in front of you. It's so good. So good.
And I think they do a great job of like having the characters already sort of situated in the world, but not in such a way that you like cannot appreciate what the heck they're even doing there, right?
Yeah.
So like I think the first story, doesn't it start out with like Seamus has just recently killed Molly and resurrected her.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get the head of Rasputina's brother. While Rasputina is showing up trying to get the tome from his corpse.
Philip, yeah.
You know, and so like it's funny because they have this like battle, even though they're not fighting over the same thing. It's funny. But then, you know, like this is where Molly sort of starts to break free from Seamus because Seamus just leaves her buried. And then, you know, eventually some of the guards come over, the marshals come over when they're like, oh my God, we found a body. And it's Molly.
It's poor Molly.
And then you slowly find out Molly's background, how she used to be, Molly Squidpage used to be a reporter. And then she got murked, but she came back and she eventually starts to get her ragtag group of, what do they call them?
She has what? Not revenants. What does Molly have? Hang on.
I know, like my brain's like outcasts, but like the undead version of that word. What would it be?
Oh, rot. Let's go here.
It's all the forgotten undead and people like that. She just sort of like gets this parade of little duders out there.
Noxious Nephilims.
Well, that's her totem.
Yeah, she gets, what does she get? Archives, Cruligans, Forgotten Marshals, Keepside Strangers, which I have to pick up, Night Terrors, Philip and the Nanny, Rabble Risers, Strange Lady. She gets a lot of really good stuff.
Yeah, but what's her keyword?
Oh, I'm sorry. What is her keyword? Let me go back.
Abandoned.
Abandoned.
No, that's the tokens they get.
She is Chaotic Conductor or Harbinger of Havoc. Come on, Molly.
Forgotten. They're forgotten. Yeah.
Yeah, there.
Okay, so sorry about all that. Each of the keywords actually does like coincide with like story elements too, you know. So Molly has all the forgotten creatures and, you know, things that were put together by the resurrectionists.
Yep.
That were just forgotten and left to the wayside. And so that's who she is. And then, you know, like just you can actually get into a lot of that. Then they also have the chronicles on the Breachside broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
Which are just individual like short stories, right? You know, you get more information sometimes about a character like the Dreamer or something, you know? So it's really good.
Again, if you want to dig into anything, watch the Defective Dice video on the Master, and he'll tell you where all the sources are. So it'll tell you exactly which chronicle to go to so that you don't have to scan through them all.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple. And, you know, he'll tell you where the articles came from, whether it was one of the books or, you know, Ashes or, you know, a 3rd edition book. So, which the 4th edition books should be soon, you know? So as we talk about all this should be, and let's get this stuff, that was how to consume lore. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about how to consume models, which right now is a trial. It is a bit of a trial. They are very, let me paint the picture for you so that you don't think Weird's just a bunch of idiots. They released 4th edition. They had a whole bunch of starter boxes and a whole bunch of the original wave. Those shipped out to the stores and distributors, and that's the stuff you can pick up now at your FLGS or Amazon or whatever your store of choice is. The next waves of stuff were, of course, being built and boxed and shipped from China. So sailing over the bounding sea, and the boat catches fire. Oopsie. So nothing in the weird containers got damaged by the fire, but the boat still had to basically pull over, go to a port, and have repairs, and of course an investigation, and blah, 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 why the fire. So all the cargo on that ship was held up months We're not talking about, oh, this was like 3 days. This was over a month. I believe it was over a month. So that stuff still hasn't hit the United States shores. I don't think it has, but it's due in any time. And this is what has pushed their release schedule back so hard. And I feel bad for them because Weird has always been known for saying, this is coming out next week. And it doesn't come out for like a month and a half. Or in some cases, they would announce stuff and it wouldn't come out for 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
You know, and you just like, come on, guys. This is GW level FOMO, and it's not working. But that is why the release of 4th edition has been so rocky at the start. Because the 2-player starter, which I highly recommend. It gets you everything you need to play the game from now on. Those hit, and the initial wave of 8 boxes hit, or 8 or 10 boxes. And then after that, it's been like nothing for 4 months. So again, it was kind of a situation that was removed from their control. Acts of God are, well, it's force majeure. You can't do nothing about that.
And so, like, you as a returning player, right? How's that like affected you?
Well, because of the changes to how, so many things in different keywords got switched from being standalone characters to totems. And so for a lot of the characters I don't have, like, I could play Lady Justice tomorrow if I had her totem, either one of her totems, because I have the rest of her stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't have her totems. I'm going to have to proxy that. McMorning, I have so much of the Resurrectionist stuff, but under the new structure of the keywords, I don't have anything that works with him. I just feel so sad. And I got out, and I realize now that I got out further into 3rd edition than I thought. I thought I got out right at the switch over, but I was obviously in it for quite a bit longer because I had All the Worlds of Stage. I had several of the later 3rd edition boxes, but it's still hard because I know what I thought I wanted, and I had that. And it's no longer, it doesn't align up anymore. So what I find is I have a lot of half fulfilled keywords and really not enough to make it playable, which is, that's me. I got out of the game. That's my fault. Had I stuck with it, I'd probably have gotten a lot more of this stuff. But honestly, the way the system works and the way people will allow you to proxy stuff, it's not a big deal.
No.
Have something that looks right and make sure it's identifiable so that your opponent knows, hey, that's actually a Scales of Justice. It's not a desperate mercenary. Let's just all agree that he's the Scale of Justice. Okay, cool. Yeah, we can do that. So I'm not terribly worried about it. I think as a new player, just getting, and you'll see this, you'll comment on this, I'm sure, it's a lot weirder to try to put crews together.
Yes and no. So coming into it, trying to get the crews going, right? Yeah, I mean, you can look through the app and be like, oh my God, there's so many different masters. This is awesome. Yeah. And then you go to Weird Store and you're like, you have like what, mostly Rezzers? And what do I do now? Because I didn't want that. I actually want, I don't know, Marcus, right? I want Marcus from Neverborn. He's not out there on the 4th edition, right? So what do you do? As a consumer? Well, what I did is, if you look at the website, they still have their 3rd edition boxes for sale. Most of them are still for sale, probably because they still had stock on them, right? That kind of thing. Yeah. So you can go through the 3rd edition boxes and try to find the pieces of the crew that you want. Now, some of them are going to be, as Bill said, identical. Yep. So, for example, like the Dreamer Fast Asleep, his core box from 3rd edition is the same core box that's in 4th edition, just with different outer packaging. Yep.
And cards.
Yes, the cards are one of the most important parts. But you have the app for now. Yeah. Right?
And you can download all the cards from their website and print them out. So don't think that's a limit.
Exactly. Now, sometimes that's not the case. So going to like, all right, because I know this, Euripides, right? So with Euripides, he has his core box, right?
Yep.
I was able to get the Garion. I was able to get the Cyclops. Fantastic. The only ones I didn't pick up are the Crookshanks because I'm just not sure if I'll run them. But then if you want to play the other version of Euripides, the old One-Eye,
Yeah.
to get his model, you either have to try and find it by itself online. Otherwise, it's packaged in a box with Rasputina and 3 Cultgeists.
Yep.
In the new edition, he can't take Cultgeists. He used to be able to,
Right.
in third, but he can't now. So then you're actually buying more of a Rasputina box than you are old One-Eye.
Yeah.
So unless you want to play both of them, you're in a weird situation. Not to mention it doesn't come with his totem, which is the Strix.
Yeah.
So then you're in this position where you're like, okay, so I've got first form of Euripides, but I really wanted Hierophant. Well, you're kind of going to be out the models, right? I mean, everyone's going to let you proxy, but you're out the models, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that's a little frustrating as a new player coming in saying like, oh, this is so cool. I totally want this. Like if she was available, if they were available, I would have the Ortega family, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's Perdita Ortega. And I just absolutely love the flavor of all of them.
Oh,
you know?
They're such a whacked out family. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's the entire family of the Ortegas that came across, and they're kind of in the bayou down to where Ophelia is, and they're constantly fighting demons and stuff. But they're
just really good at killing Neverborn.
yeah, they are gunslingers. That's what they do.
Yep.
And my absolute favorite concept of a model is with them, which is Abuela Ortega.
Oh, Abuela.
It's
And she's guild now.
no, she's not.
Yes, she is.
Oh no, she is guild. Sorry. I was like, what? I was like, you said Neverborn before, so my mind was tricked over to Neverborn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Perdita is 100% guild.
Yeah.
Abuela, it's a grandma in a wheelchair.
Oh, yeah.
With a sombrero and a shotgun.
And do not mess with Abuela. Do not. And, if you know the trope of the Mexican grandma who is such a nice, wonderful person, and she'll spend the entire day, making empanadas and just feeding everyone. And then when you do something stupid, she'll shoot you in the head.
Yeah.
It's
with her chancla.
Oh,
yeah.
God. She's so awesome.
Yeah, it's...
And it's hard to get her, though.
Yeah.
And one thing I will say is, and I blame Weird for this, because of the way 3rd edition played, and because of the henchman format, a lot of the 3rd edition boxes that are labeled starter boxes for a keyword are actually just versatile models for that keyword. They are not starter boxes. Mm-hmm. They don't even have a master in them. Yep. They are just there to play the henchman format game. What was it? Not Henchman Hoedown. I forgot what it was called. But it was basically a game where you played without a master. You just played with an assortment of henchmen and versatiles and just duked it out in a quicker throwdown sort of format. But that's what those boxes were basically for. Now, when you see like the Rasputina core box or the Nekima core box, you're going to get that core of that keyword, unless of course it was a dual faction master, which you have to be real careful now and check before you just buy it, because the models that she used to, or that particular master used to be able to take, they may not be able to take anymore, i.e. what you were saying about I think Euripides. Those were perfectly valid last edition. They're not now. It made perfect sense back then, but it doesn't make so much now. And it's their naming convention where the keyword core boxes were the versatiles. And then the master core boxes were that master. But if it has 2 symbols on it, if it has 2 or 3 faction symbols, check the box very carefully to make sure that all the models in there you can use or you want for other purposes or something. Don't get caught buying what you think is just a 3rd edition master box and you come to find out it doesn't play into 4th at all. All you got was the master.
And that's the frustrating thing as the new player, right?
Yeah.
Coming in and you have to educate yourself on all of this prior to looking into the product, right? And I know the goal is inevitably going to be, here are the core boxes for 4th edition with the cards, with the models that this faction can take, this master can take, and you're good to go. And, to a degree, if you're really just in love with a particular master, but you want both sides of that master's gameplay. Eventually you'll be able to get the master, the second master, but a lot of the models are all the same. Their core models, their keyword models are the same. I think that, the Pandora players are eating well right now.
Oh, yeah.
Because they released both Despair's Desire and Tyrant Torn, which between those two, you have almost every single model in her keyword for 2 boxes.
Same thing with Seamus. Seamus was the only one that had the double on the first wave.
Yeah.
And you can literally handily play both sides of Seamus, who incidentally is a lot of fun.
If you like to dash around and stab people in the back.
And not be there when they try to clap back.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you mean he's not? No, he's not there. But anyway, yeah, I would love to see someone, it should be weird, but I understand that they're busy with other things, but somebody who would take these 4th edition keywords and break them down to the model and what the source for that model is, what box it came in.
If it's available.
Yeah, even if it's even available, because that would be huge to help new players. And this is why Weird should be doing something like this. Or they just, I'm sure they don't have the spare $1 million or so to just produce everything they've ever produced in mass and ship it over. So
with completely new boxing.
Probably kind of a pipe dream, but or do STLs. That'd be awesome too. So, but I understand.
Did it with the other side.
It's a loss though. That's a
major loss.
Big
They did
loss.
that.
So, it's going to take a bit, and understand this initial release wave was impacted by an active nature. In the future, I hope they have their stuff a little bit more in one sock and start getting these boxes out, because I feel like there's people that really want to play this game. And it's just so hard now to get into. If you're an existing player, you don't care. You have all these models probably painted 2 or 3 times. I don't have, like I said, I have enough to make me angry about what I don't have, and so I'm trying to source some different things and but it also makes it that much more, there's a bigger dopamine hit when you do get it.
Oh my God. Right.
You do get your keyword together in the list that you want to play. And you're like, yes, I finally got this and I'm going to play it till it drops. I don't care. There's something positive about that, but it's overall, I wish they would have done it better.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel with like Euripides. Like,
yeah.
Oh my God, I have all the things except for the Crookshanks, but they're like so weak. I don't care.
Yeah.
But anyway, and I've got them all painted up and it's gorgeous. I have 10 models. That's like pretty much the entire thing until I get the Suzuki sisters painted up.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, this is great. This is awesome. I have a fully functional, fully painted, crew ready to go. And I can go down to like 30 some points.
Too, aren't they?
Which ones?
Suzuki.
Yeah, they're versatiles.
I'm going to have to build them for my Tatiana.
Oh, you'll have to build them for every Neverborn list. But.
That's true. Yeah. But once they're built, they're good for everyone.
Yes.
So,
yeah. And it just feels great. And like it was a bit of a hunt too. Like I'm doing my research, I'm the new player, like I said, and I'm going and I'm looking, where can I find this? Where can I get the best price possible? And so like some of these things are going to be only available on like Amazon or eBay because they're only third party now, because Weird may not have some. And that happened to me where like Weird sold out of the Dreamer Fast Asleep, but I go onto eBay, I find a group called Flipside Gaming. Not only are they selling the Dreamer, they're selling him for like $15 cheaper.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so I was able to get the Dreamer that way.
Yep.
Right. So like you have to do like it's a major investment up honestly right now. Like once they finally have their line out, it's gonna be easy.
Yes.
Right. But being a new player in this environment, while the game itself I found is, beginner friendly in terms of just getting into it and you'll be able to develop the skills from there.
Yeah.
Getting the models is the hard part.
Yeah.
And that's kind of disappointing as a new player. Like, to be frank, it's kind of fun to hunt these down and find them and get them and like, oh my God, it reminds me of like, like when you hear a song on the radio, and you don't know what it is, but like that was so catchy. And, you spend the next few months and then finally someone's like, oh, that song is this. And then you can find the album and then you buy it and it's just the most amazing thing ever, right? The rest of the album is trash.
Yeah, but
you got that one song.
Yep.
And like it felt a little bit like that. Not that it took that long.
Yep.
So there are ways to get there. There are going to be some things that you're going to have to wait to get.
You're going to have to scour like Noble Knight, Flipside,
Yep.
eBay, Amazon.
Mhm.
I mean, you can find some pretty crazy stuff out there. And be aware, especially like on eBay, be very careful with those people that are selling full up keywords.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, make sure that you look at their history and if they have absolutely zero customer reviews, no matter how good it sounds, chances are you're about to get hosed. So, and then there's some folks out there, there's a couple guys out there that are offering keywords painted at these exorbitant prices. Again, a lot of those guys have, they have customer reviews and they have people that swear by them. And if you're willing to just part with the major dollars to get a whole keyword, that's an option, but it's expensive. I'd rather source it and do it myself. That's just me, though.
I got to say that the word pro painted means nothing on eBay.
Oh, dear God.
It is a throwaway word. You see pro painted and you open it up and like, I never thought they'd be pro painted, but you open it up and you're like, dear God, did you paint that one Space Marine that's a meme where he looks like his face is melting?
Yeah. Or it's got base color and dip.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God.
Pro status.
Yeah.
Pro status, guys.
I was in the running for a Golden Daemon, which means I entered a model. Yeah, so was I. I was right up there because I entered a model. Yeah, all right. So, but yeah, I mean, sourcing the game right now can be hard, but you want to start going into picking a faction. I'm going to say that neither one of us is going to be an expert at this because we have shotgunned factions all over the place.
I think it's real of cool. I really do.
Yes.
I mean, I have a certain affinity for Neverborn, just because I like a lot of the concepts for them. There's some of their masters I do not give a damn about.
Yeah.
Like Castor, like old Nephilim vampire dude. Don't care for him.
Yeah.
Nikima kinda is interesting.
I love Nikima.
But love Titania's concepts. The reason I was so pulled towards the Dreamer is because his concept is just like pure horror.
Yeah.
And I find it really interesting because, even in the lore, it's not like they go into this deep background about the Dreamer, right?
Yeah.
No, he's some rich kid living in London who dreams about murdering people, and that causes him to transport to Malifaux in astral projection form, and he is being manipulated by a tyrant named Nightmare. And like, cool, I don't need anything more than that. Let's go.
Well,
like,
and what's really cool is after the Burning Man, when the Dreamer loses that 8-year-old mentality and grows up a little bit, they're adding a little bit of depth to him. And,
there.
yeah, and he's still a kid.
Yeah.
And Nightmare still owns his ass. But, I mean, Sharufe owned Sonya. It's everybody that's got attached to a tyrant is kind of weird. So, yeah, he's got some really great lore, really great stories centering around the Dreamer. And I think they're going to bring him up more just because of that whole weird connection that he has with both sides.
Yes.
And he's a lot of fun in that respect, and there's not a lot of masters that seamlessly go back and forth. So,
well, the thing is, he's never actually been to Malifaux. Is
right.
What's so interesting. He actually projects there, but that's it. And that makes him interesting. And there's so much room for his character to pop up. Because I remember reading somewhere, someone went and cataloged the number of like Breachside Broadcasting Chronicles that he's in. I think he's in a total of like 7, maybe. Yeah. And he usually like shows up, brings nightmares, kills people, and then wakes up and goes back to Earth, right?
But his stories are always so impactful too, because he's been at some of the craziest places because of Nightmare. And it's like, oh God, I hate Nightmare. Oh God, I hate Nightmare. But
that's Lord Chompy Bits, by the way.
I hate all the tyrants. Yeah. But I love all the tyrants.
I think
so cool.
his character would develop into like gaining more agency. You know, like while Nightmare cannot actually overpower him and take over him, he's still manipulating a child, right? Which isn't complex or necessarily hard to do. But I think Dreamer's going to become like an insanely powerful being as he continues to like mature and understand what his powers are.
If he ever figures out what he can do, he's going to be a holy terror.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's going to be so much fun.
And so that kind of stuff is what you look into, right? Again, like rule of cool. Like I again don't really care for the like budget devil vampires in Castor, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, Nakima's more interesting. Titania is awesome as a concept too, you know? Like, you know, she's the fey keyword, but she has a lot of like, it's more like nature's with her.
Yeah.
You know, she has the boars and the bears and like I absolutely love that.
Yeah,
you know?
the Autumn Queen, I love that edition the most.
Mm-hmm.
They're both really good, but
some of the most beautiful sculpts they've done.
yeah. And it's, you know, yeah, you're right. There's a bunch that I mean, like I like Tony Ironsides. I don't want to play that crew.
Oh no.
The crew doesn't appeal to me, whereas I love Karis. I mean, she is just off the hook cool and a twisted person. Oh man, so much fun. But you know, there's a lot of ones that I'd always overlooked that I really want to look into now. Sandeep is one of the ones that I never really, you know, I love Arcanists, but I never really wanted to jump down into the Sandeep thing. And then I listened to the Defective Dice stuff and I'm like, yeah, I want to jump into that guy. He's
actually interesting.
Cool. Yeah, he is. That whole intercom, that whole inner piece until you do something that really makes me mad, and then it's game on. And he's a lot of fun, but you got to be, you know.
He was the first Arcanist to get a box release and the first Arcanist to have both of his core boxes released.
Yeah.
His second core box is expensive compared to the others, but if you're looking at Sandeep, you can get both forms of his master, models and cards, of course, right? And pretty much fill out his crew right now. I think Damien Ravencroft and Colette.
Yeah.
Colette's actually out. Ravencroft is scheduled to come out.
Damien Crow or Ravencroft?
Ravencroft. Damien Ravencroft.
I don't know.
It's his aspirant version.
I don't know when I didn't think he was on the next list.
I
thought he was down the list.
He might be a little down the list. Maybe he's more like April, May. But he would be the next Arcanist to come out. So now you have, I mean, really at the core, you have one of Colette's options and both of Sandeep's. So if Sandeep interests you, and he has some really beautiful models, folks. If you like that Arabian Nights aesthetic, I mean, it's gonna suck you right in. If you're a Conquest player that loves Sorcerer Kings, you're gonna get into Sandeep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's really strong too.
Yep.
So it's cool because there's so much open to you as a new player to like listen to and learn, and this rule of cool. I really, really want this one, but it's real hard to get it right now.
Yeah.
So it's sort of tempering expectations.
But I would say if you're a new player, I would start with one of the more direct. If you want to do the Rezzers, go with McMorning, because you will learn how Rezzers can make everyone else angry. I mean, they don't have a huge win rate right now. In fact, I think they're the bottom. I think the bottom two are Outcast and Rezzers, which is weird because that's a huge flip from third edition. But again, you know, it used to be Neverborn, never win. And, you know, it was never win for a reason. And, you know, now they've upped their power so much. It's ridiculous. And it's crazy how they've altered some of the factions. The fourth edition, I think the new boxes are so better balanced than they used to be that I think we're seeing this really weird skew at the beginning with the win rates of the different factions, and you always have to take it with a grain of salt by how many games were played.
Oh yeah.
You know, I know Outcasts are right at the bottom, and that's mostly because most of the Outcast keywords have had some significant abilities removed from them, which is kind of strange because their points didn't change. And those abilities didn't get baked into the crew cards like most others did. So that's kind of strange, but I don't believe they'll let it set that way for that long.
What, did you want Hamlin to be terrorizing everyone again?
No, not really.
With poison everywhere?
Yeah. That was such a shit mechanic. Poison is so much better now. You get one token, it hits you until you remove it. So
yeah.
it's so much better now.
Like that also with burning, right?
Yeah.
Burning used to stack like crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like end of turn, dead. End of turn, dead.
Yeah. Yeah, there were some mechanics that were so bad in the older, and they've done a lot to fix it and understand that they have to also now go back and look at how that's changed the meta overall. And I have absolutely faith that they will figure it out. I don't see any issues with them. They're pretty responsive at getting things right. So,
and I think they could have done a lot more to have some stuff available up front, but they made sure that the starter box is available.
Yep.
Which it really is the best intro for new players. The crews that you get are moderately strong. I think Ampersand is a much more straightforward.
Oh yeah.
Here's how you operate type thing. There's definitely some fun stuff with ski markers and scrap and all that, remains. Whereas, the Silken King requires a little bit more finesse, because, trying to use the nymph to lure something into doing what you want it to do is different than a giant piano with a giant crossbow shooting you.
It's so funny because when you go through, and I highly recommend if you're new and you want to get into it, get that first edition 2 players or the 4th edition 2-player starter.
Oh yeah.
Those 2 crews will teach you 90% of the game with the different things that they have. But what's funny is as you go through the games, in order, because I did this with Pam, and she was playing the Neverborn, and she was like, these people cannot win. Mm-hmm. They cannot handle the power. They're just not strong enough. And then you get to the final game where the master comes in, and everything changes.
Oh, yeah. And
everything flips. And she's like, I don't see how they can lose. And I'm like, you're right. They are, Neverborn in that game, in that 2-player starter set, are going to probably win 75% of the games. Only once you have the master out there.
Yeah, I mean, you have to focus fire the Silken King down, or the nymph.
The nymph is the big one. Get rid of the nymph or get rid of the colony.
The colony is raw because it hands out status effects just by floating past you. Like, it's such a powerful model.
And the thing is, you have the tools to do it, because with the fortune teller, as you're building, I'm building not only my deck, but I'm stuffing your deck.
Oh, yeah.
I am literally telling you, you're going to lose this fight. But getting that to work in the way you want it to work, that's not as easy as you think, even with all that manipulation you have of the 2 fate decks. And if you don't know, what the fortune teller allows you to do is you can take the top 3 cards of your deck and put them back in any order. If you get your trigger, you can do the same thing to your opponent's deck. So in the perfect world, you basically use the fortune teller's ability to set up the 2 decks, and then you attack the Silken King.
Yeah.
Knowing that he's going to pull a black joker, and you're going to pull the red joker, and you're going to do all kinds of damage to him. Mm-hmm. So, that's in a perfect world. That's how you would set it up. Of course, we don't live in a perfect world, and other things are going to happen. But still, knowing what the next 3 cards your opponent's going to flip, that's huge. And I believe you can bury one of them. So, yeah, if you do flip their red joker, you can just grin, show it to them, and put it at the bottom of their deck and go, ha ha.
Oopsie.
You'll see that next turn.
Yeah, I mean, deck manipulation's huge. But also, what they call obey. Abilities are strong. Like, that's what the nymph does. You can control a unit and make it do it.
Yeah, that piano with the crossbow is now shooting at you.
Yeah.
Yourself.
So, keep the giant piano with the crossbow away from the one that, causes it to attack your own units. I don't know.
And, it's planning around, even a straightforward crew like the Victorias. You have to set up what they do. You have to set up their synergy. It just does not appear out of nowhere. And there's a couple of limitations that are built in that are just so stupid. But it's I'm sure they did some play testing with it, and they found out, like the other one, Vanessa Chambers, she only gets her token if she's on the center line. If she crosses the center line, she gets the token, but if she's not on the center line, she loses it at the end of the turn. So you're basically telegraphing, and everybody knows where she's going to be standing, and she becomes meat. But if you're thinking she's now bait, and you set her up to take whatever it is they're going to give her, and then you use the Vix to go slaughter whatever they send after her. And that's how you do it. There's ways of manipulating every one of these crews. And I don't honestly think any of the crews are bad.
Yeah.
Some of them, like you said, some of them are just super subtle, and you have to really think about how you're going to achieve the goals. And don't fall into the trap of thinking the goal in this game is to kill the other guy's models. It's not. You get a grand total of 0 points for killing enemy models. 0. Well, except for a couple of schemes. And even then, all you have to do is wound them. So killing them would get you more points, but very rarely is killing an object of the game. It's the schemes and the strats. Focus on those, new players.
Yeah. So again, as a new player, like looking at the variety of things that are out there, like even if you have the straightforward ones, like the Vix, right?
Yeah.
They have subtleties in ways you don't expect. And that's how cool this game is when I say it's layered, like you can have this one like, okay, I can enter with this one because it's pretty much beat face.
Yeah.
But then as you start to learn the abilities and like what your triggers are, and if you have tokens, how to manipulate the tokens and all that, you're like, oh, so it isn't just run up and poke with sword, right? It's like poke with sword, but at the same time remove scheme marker and move it over here and whatever your crew's gonna do. So you kind of can pick your own challenge at the beginning.
Yes, you can.
Like if you go in, like you're an experienced veteran wargamer, right? And you're the type of person who knows how to like toe into an objective behind cover, right? So that way, even if the enemy tries to come up, they can't take the point from you. Like,
yeah,
you do have crews that let you play like that.
Yep.
And that's great. And if you just want to be like, no, for my own well-being, I need to learn how to beat face first, while still trying to do some of the other things and work my way in.
And I think most crews actually have that. They actually have that very straightforward approach where if you read the master card, the totem card, and the crew card, it will tell you what the synergy is. It will tell you how to manipulate them on the board in a way that, take Seamus, for instance. It quite flat out tells you that if these models are within this range of Seamus and they do bad things to Seamus, you just swap the two models. It's cut. It's straightforward. It's obvious. This is how I do it. As you grow with that team, you will figure out all kinds of horrifying ways to bait your enemy to try to kill Seamus so that you can advance him up the board further than he could have moved in 2 turns by simply being the target of attacks. And now you are just leveraging this mobility that a lot of the Bayou teams just would drool over. And these are the people that move up the board without thinking about it. So everybody has the very straightforward way and the very, wait a minute, look at what I could do. This is so cool.
I mean, to agree, yes, like your masters, the versions of your master give you like slightly different gameplay. But I mean, like, how do I put this? How the Vix play is significantly different than how Pandora plays.
Oh God, yes.
And I would say that like, if you're a new player without wargaming experience, right, you're probably going to have an easier time getting in with the Vix.
Get the Vix.
Because Pandora is like, she's like an onion.
She's got layers. She's like a parfait.
Because she's really like death by 1,000 cuts, because you're setting up all these different synergies, right, and different tokens and different auras, and so her thing is much more. It's wider in terms of the abilities that you need to know how to handle.
Yep.
So she's going to be a harder entry point, not harder, but likely going to be a more difficult entry point than, someone like the Vix, or probably like Sonya's going to be, because she's going to hit, face, and burn, right?
Yeah, Lady Justice is going to, once she starts getting remains out there, and it's very straightforward how to do damage and how to kill other people and manipulate the schemes with her. Not so much with Pandora, because manipulating the schemes is not something that's really brought out straightforward on the cards. It's not in your face to do this to a scheme marker. You have to figure out how the game mechanics allow you to deny your opponent the ability to do scheming. And that's how you get the upper hand. And this is why Pandora used to be such a scourge. Is what they've done now is they've baked it into her how she denies the opponent's ability to interact with things.
Yeah.
It used to be that she simply took actions away. She simply denied you the ability to do anything while her crew was doing anything they wanted on the board. You would announce your activation and Pandora would say, yeah, no.
She still does that.
I know she kind of does that, but it's not like it used to be. Trust me. It used to be you rocked up to a table and somebody was bringing out Pandora. You were like, you're either an asshole whacker or you're playing Tyrant Torn. Oh, I'm playing Tyrant Torn. Okay, I'll play this game. Otherwise, you were like, okay, you win. I'm out.
Yeah,
Let's
because
go have a beer.
the craziest thing is that she used to be able to just like flip status effects.
Yeah.
It's like your opponent, like, okay, yeah, so I've got these 2 tokens on me, so I have this positive set effect, and I got burning on yours. She, like in a bubble, she would just flip everything.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, remove the tokens from your opponents, and then put tokens of your choice. On them. So you're like, cool, I'm going to take away your fast. I'm going to take away your adaptable, and I don't know, I'm going to give you slow and burning.
And poison. Yeah.
You know, like, so like she would play like that. Now, I mean, she hands out slow and paranoia like crazy.
Yeah.
And then if you play Despair's Desire, she has Fragile Ego.
Yes. Oh God.
So she's a really cool. If you want to get in an advanced level, Pandora's awesome because, like I said, she has both of her boxes out. The only thing I think you're missing outside of those boxes are going to be Carver, who's available for like $18 online.
Yeah.
And Delirium and the Delirious Thralls, right? So for 4 boxes, you get the entire keyword.
Yeah.
And that is not heard of anywhere else. And so, like, in that sense, as a new player, she's easier to get into, like, monetary, like, money-wise, right? And you're not going to be, like, I was suffering with this for the longest time with the Dreamer, you know, so in the Dreamer's keyword, there are 2 model sets that are out of print.
Yes.
One of them is their healer, I forget her name, and the other one are the Insidious Madness, right? Which are like 3 smaller. The models looked cool when they were print, like flying dudes. So they give mobility to Dreamer. They're just not available. Period. Full stop. And that's frustrating.
Yes,
it's so frustrating.
Big time.
And if you're not only does Pandora have all of her keyword models out. Carver, who is a scarecrow with a pumpkin, has an iconic model, which looks amazing.
Yeah.
If you like super buff scarecrow, so if you have like a Wizard of Oz fetish, because you're like, man, he doesn't need a brain.
Yeah.
Fabio. But yeah, you know, they said like, you know, some of the molds broke and there was like never a demand for these models, right? No one's playing Insidious Madness, right? Some people bought them, but no one wants them. So why are we going to?
Or they're going to, you know, redo it at some point.
Exactly.
So,
but there are proxies that you can do. And I mean, I don't know. If you try and go and you're like at a local game store and you're trying to do some friendly pickup games of Malifaux and you're like, hey man, this is my proxy. This is the right base size, you know, but I'm just proxying this pink horror instead of Insidious Madness. And someone's like, you can't do that. Walk away.
Yeah, that's not the person you want to play anyway.
Right. They're going to be, well, listen to our last episode about who that person's going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
So that way you understand, you know, they're probably sweaties.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's a journey getting into it, you know. So like, I'm not here where I have partial collection like Bill.
Yeah.
I had no collection. And so I'm like, that's cool. I want to get that. That's cool. I want to get that. Right. And so
I'm looking at your list. I'm going, no, you don't have a partial collection. God dang.
I know, but that was all targeted buying, right? You know, it's like, okay, I want the Dreamer. So Dreamer. Oh, okay. I get this box, right? Awesome. Fantastic. I've got what I want. you know? And then, you know, like shipping gets delayed. And I'm like, I'll just pick up this Pandora box real quick.
Yeah, of course.
And I like put this together. I'm like, this is really cool.
I like this.
I really like this. And then, you know, like all of a sudden, because, you know, the Dreamer's a summoner, I've got 20 something models for him.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it like going like, what did I do to myself? Hey, Euripides only needs 8. I'm going to go with
or
that. 10. He only needs 10 models. No, it's 8, 7, 9 models because of the totem.
Yep.
9 models for a 44-point list. I can play a 33-point list. I like out the box, right? That's what we painted. So, you know, Bill and I probably bat rep that stuff, you know? 35 stone list or I don't know what to do with the 24-point boxes. That's just weird.
It's weird. Yeah, we'll have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So.
It's 30 points, but you get 6 soul stones. No,
yeah. Well, yeah.
Anyway, so we're working on that stuff. But, you know, if you take your time, do the research, it'll be out there. And there's so much lore and there's so much for you to listen to, particularly with Breachside Broadcast and Jeff from the Defective Dice. You know, that like you have time. Take the time.
If you want to do podcasts, go to Rage Quit Wire. Very good general game. He's big on War Machine now, but a lot of Malifaux. Really good guy. Really good show. Brings in a lot of people to, you know, he's got a good stable crew of people that are knowledgeable, and they've been doing 4th edition. And so their info is timely and relevant. So, but other than that, we should probably wrap it up.
I think so.
Just be advised, Weird is going through some weird shit right now. I mean, you can't predict a fire on your boat. I mean, it has set everything they're doing behind by gobs. And I would have hoped they would have been a little bit more straightforward with that on their website and say, hey, this is the deal. But they didn't. And that's okay. I mean, they've always been weird. They have always been that company. But I wish there were more resources for how to get into it fully. But I think they're really embracing the idea of get these 4th edition starter boxes and start that way and start playing at 35 until we get everything out. So we'll see where it goes. Trust me, it's a fun game. You'll love it.
And, you know, just last parting shot as a new player, like I can see the whole thing is focused around the starter box as a new player, because for the most part, they're maybe taking for granted that, you know, older players are going to have the models that they want to play. Yep. They just need the cards, which are currently on the app. Yep. And again, the app's free.
Yep.
So I could see why it's sort of slow rolling, particularly, you know, when they, you know, got shot in the knee with an arrow. And
I used to be an adventurer.
Right. But they'll get there. Stuff's still out there. But just because it's hard to find right now, don't let that discourage you. Just the lore and everything has sucked me in so much.
Yep.
That I'm like, I'm never going back.
And play at 35 points. It's just as fun.
Yeah. And
quicker. And you'll get the mechanics down and then add to it as you go. Just have fun with it.
And if you have the starter box, play through the starting missions. They are tailored to help you learn the game in a really nice progressive way. And if you're a returning player or you were playing 3rd edition consistently and didn't really do much in the beta, it's a great way for you to understand the differences from what you were doing before. And that's one thing I've heard from a lot of people online is that if you're a 3rd edition player getting into this, it's a lot of unlearning more than it is learning. Yeah. So that'll help you get there. So I think, well, Weird will get there and we will with them.
Yes.
So thank you for joining us, folks. Those are our thoughts here. And then, well, for the rest of you, we have some anger issues to go over.
The Albuquerque Narrative Gamers Podcast, or Anger Podcast, is protected under the Creative Commons license. You can find information for this at creativecommons.org. Information and links about the show's topics will be in the show notes, as will any other copyright information that needs to be presented.